Sankuko buo Nketenkete. Mr. Man. Mr. Ochireme. Ehefa. Ena obenya sika. Edi aye o sankuko buo Nketenkete no. Abusuya ene finally the Parliament of Ghana atumi akopiem ewo Parliament after a longer waiting time due to misunderstanding and impositions binoma some of the members of Parliament, especially the Speaker, the majority leader and the minority leader omutekie. Intino the Parliament was hanging, but then Yankopon ayadum ama MPs omo de omo adwuma beba na wieye on the 7th of this January no omo nyina tumi akoshiam e Parliament a finally NDC for assess omo ye minority in this last days of this Parliament. Na we mu na Fenyo Markins speaker a man akwanya se wonkasa eho na Fenyo Markins din nsem ebegudwa se upon all the campaigns and throw a koshia mucha edichira manfo promises amoye and throw mudi no ene yamamu akwanya ehefa ena mubenye sika modi beye sa nyuma na mo ka no sese die mpo de afenyo market se o ma hyase hu se dum so no ahyase obabi afiwe ebeye ka enti asema afenyo market bisa NDC for ne se okay, maba. Na musankuko buo Nketenkete no. How are you people going to implement it? Abusha yanko ne nkonkotie because sika kumya gino kwa num yanko ne nkonkotie afenyo markings abra no ni NDC MPs eye back and forth. Chewadwen ewo comment section box wo.
Honorable Ebenezer Afenyo Markin. You are still my son. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Speaker, now is Alexander Ebenezer.
Sorry, Alexander.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to also welcome you into the House and welcome my colleagues, led by Dr. KCL Atufosin, back into this honorable chamber. Indeed, it is an established constitutional custom that once in every 4 years, the people of this country are given the opportunity to elect their leaders. First, the President of the Republic, and second, parliamentarians, the people's representatives. On the 7th of December, this mandate was rightfully exercised by the people of Ghana. They did so peacefully, without fear. They have elected a president and members of parliament. It is without doubt that our friends in the NDC have emerged victorious. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the leader of the minority side and his team for such an unprecedented feat. I also congratulate His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama on his election. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia did something very unprecedented. We've never witnessed it in the history of our politics before. Relying on his own internal coalition, at 9 a.m. on Sunday, he publicly acknowledged the outcome of the elections, conceded and congratulated the president-elect who was yet to be officially declared by the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, such a move by him was very historic and commendable. Today, we are here because of that singular action. All of us collective acknowledged that all we have is our democracy. Mr. Speaker, permit me to take us through memory lane. Mr. Speaker, in 1997, after the 1996 elections, the NDC received an overwhelming victory, and the MPP had only 61 in this chamber. It was a 200-member chamber. The NDC was only short of one seat to get the 2/3. But I am happy to say that that supposed mini minority, micro minority, as pronounced by Dr. Keselato Forsen, emerged victorious in less than in just 4 years because of hard work. They turned the minority into a majority when it came to the 2000 elections. Mr. Speaker, again in 2012, the MPP suffered another defeat, and the NDC had a majority. In 2016, another historic feat was achieved by the MPP, where we had overwhelming majority in this chamber of 169 seats. In less than 4 years, we started going back. And by the time the people exercised their mandate again, the 169 had reduced into 137, plus our independent who caucused with us, and we made it to 138. Dr. Forsen, I have heard you. You have overwhelming majority. But that majority will start reducing from the 8th of January. And I know that come 2028, we will be in the majority. Mr. Speaker, already we are experiencing some encircling gloom. This darkness we are seeing, and looking at your posture, we know that you have promised a lean government. You say less than 40 ministers, and you the MPs, yes. Mr. Speaker, I know they can't take it. Now that we are coming into minority, be prepared. Be prepared. You see you can't take it. You see you can't take it. Mr. Speaker, even if your flag bearer, who is now president-elect, said 60, we are going to see how many of you will make it. We are going to see. You said 60 ministers and deputy ministers, all inclusive 60. Mr. Speaker, we are going to see how you are going to protect the public purse. We hear from Honorable Setekpe that you cannot implement the free SHS. We await the outcome of your policies. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this incoming government is going to implement this Nketenkete policy. The Nketenkete is a social intervention program. We are going to welcome it. But you say you are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the port. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Nketenkete. Mr. Speaker, these are on a lighter note. But Mr. Speaker, clearly, this is a time for us to reflect, particularly those of us getting into opposition. Indeed, no party can run a perfect government in this country. When you get into government, whilst you are happy to implement your policies, you are likely to make some mistakes. We concede that some mistakes were made. We concede that we couldn't have done everything perfect. The people have spoken, we've accepted it. But Mr. Speaker, the coming days and years will reveal the true colors of this umbrella. And the elephant will be watching keenly in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, this House looks forward to a leadership that will keep us going and keep the lights on in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, let me commend you for the 4 years of your leadership in this House. Mr. Speaker, we may have our disagreements, but it is obvious that members' warfare have been key to your leadership. Nobody can take it away from you. Mr. Speaker, the institutional empowerment you've given to Parliament is equal to none. It's largely because, Mr. Speaker, we had you as a speaker coming from within. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you are being retained or a new person is going to be appointed, but I pray that if they decide, Mr. Speaker, if they sack you, Mr. Speaker, of all that you've done for them, they are going to sack you. Of all that Mr. Speaker has done for you, you are going to sack Mr. Speaker. We will see. Mr. Speaker, if they decide to retain you, I know Parliament is going to benefit. But should they decide to retire you, Mr. Speaker, they can do it. Oh, they can do it. They are unpredictable. They can do it. If they decide to retain you, the happiness of this House will gather further momentum. However, if the new government decides to bring a new speaker, that speaker should come from within. We don't want an outsider. We want somebody from within who would understand us. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, we have some major government business outstanding that I would want to encourage colleagues that within the few days and weeks left, we should do everything possible to deal with these government business so that we can say that it is indeed finished. Mr. Speaker, there are also some important welfare matters that I would want to pledge to my colleagues, that together with my colleague Dr. Casey Latofosen, who by virtue of his position in the transitional arrangement so far, I know he would understand the need to cooperate to ensure the happiness of members. I cannot foresee members being happy